Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're in Quito, Ecuador for the 5 things you're going to love and hate about visiting Quito, Ecuador. And you know I like to get the bad news out of the way first. So the first thing you're not going to like when you come to Quito is actually the altitude, and then going along with the altitude are the hills, okay? Because when you come here, what you have to realize is Quito is at over 9,000 feet, okay? The airport's like 8,000 feet, and you go up into the city, and the thing is you might notice the first few days or even the first week here, it's a little tough to breathe because you're in such high elevation. And you can get altitude sickness, which is like nausea, headaches, difficulty breathing, things like that. You gotta be careful with it. So make sure you're taking it easy the first couple days you are here so your body can acclimatize to the altitude. Otherwise, you could end up in the hospital, so do be careful with that. And if not the hospital, maybe doubling over a toilet. Who knows? It does happen. But the thing that goes along with that hate of the altitude is also the hills that are here. Look, there's all kinds of hills you're going to be walking up and down when you are here in Quito. And you know, it's most time hills, okay, it's a little bit of exercise. But the thing is, when you're at 9,000 feet, it can be really tough and it can wear you out really quickly. So don't be ashamed to like take a little break. Spend some time looking at some of the great churches that are here. There's a ton of them to check out. When you walk up to the Basilica del Voto Nacional, the big, huge Gothic one, neo-Gothic one, you're gonna need to take a break when you're there walking up the steps into that. Man, it's gonna take a lot out of you, so do be careful with that. But that's the thing you're really not gonna like is the altitude sickness, the altitude, the difficulty to breathe to go along with those hills. Now, the second thing you might not like, which is some people get, what about Ecuador for this, is the weather might get you when you're here. And when I talk about the weather, I want to talk about 2 things. 1, the sun, and 2, the unpredictable nature of Quito weather, okay? First things first, man, the UV rays here, the sun here is super intense. We're on the equator, so you gotta be really careful. I mean, you're gonna get burned very easily. I've been putting 50 on every 2 hours. I've been wearing my Panama hat and my other hats I brought with me. Well, I got a Panama hat when I was here. Hey, if you didn't know, Panama hats are actually from Ecuador, okay? But I've been wearing my hat. You know, the kids have been having long sleeves. Caleb's here kicking the soccer ball. He's got jeans on, but you might be going, wait, why has he got jeans on? It's Ecuador, it's the equator. It's supposed to be hot. Well, here's another thing you're not going to like about the weather. It's not hot here, okay? Quito's like San Diego in terms of it's like the same weather every single day. So imagine if you're going to come here, highs around 65, lows, you got to like 45. So let's say it's 60 to 70 during the day all year round and 40 to 50 for the lows all year round. And so the thing is you really need to realize is you got to bring layers when you come here. Now, if you're going to go to the coast or you're going to go to the Amazon or Galapagos, yes, it's warm all year round. But here in Quito, oh, no. So you need to make sure you bring a jacket or a coat or something. And what's crazy is no matter what the Weather Channel tells you, they could say there's no rain coming. Oh, there'll be rain. It always comes. And all the guys we talk to, all the people we talk to, they always have a jacket with them just in case. So throw a jacket in the back for yourself, okay? Now, the third thing you're not going to like when you come here, and this is one of the things, actually one of the biggest dangers here, is anything to do with cars and driving here. Look, 1, don't leave anything in your car if you are driving around here. I would avoid driving if you can. If you're going to be going on any tours and things like that, don't leave anything in the car behind. But actually, probably the biggest don't deal with cars when you're here is don't think that they're going to stop for you when you cross the street. You really need to pay attention when you're crossing the street here because cars will just go. And you might think, well, I've got the light. No. You have to pay attention. We were by the Basilica del Voto Nacional. We saw a guy get hit by a car with his bike. I mean, boom. And you know, you might wait a while to cross the street sometimes, so be ready for that. It gets a little frustrating, but believe me, it's a lot safer than the alternatives, okay? Now, the 4th thing you're gonna hate when you come to Quito, and this is the one that really irked me because there's so many amazing churches here. Going to San Francisco Church, going to the cathedral, going to, you know, Campanilla Church. There's so many beautiful churches here. You'll see the architecture style inside. You can see the Spanish influence, the Moorish influence, all kinds of stuff inside, the gold inside of San Francisco and Campania. There's so many amazing churches inside, but guess what you can't do? You can't take pictures inside of them. And they're so gorgeous and you want to show them, but you can't, and that sucks. And that's one thing that really kind of irks me about that is I can't do that. So just have a heads up for that. Now, the 5th thing you might not like when you come here is actually about the infrastructure that's here. Now, the infrastructure here is getting much better, you know, but the thing is the infrastructure for tourism and the infrastructure for the people. Sometimes tourists, I get people writing me to get upset about these things. And one thing is, you know, you can't drink the water like in a lot of places in the world. You got to drink the bottled water when you are here. Another thing is the toilets. You got to put the toilet paper in the basket. Okay, and some people don't like that part about the infrastructure. So, wait, why am I throwing my poopy things into the basket, not in the bowl? Look, You don't do that here. And the thing is, that can upset some people, but some other infrastructure things that'll probably get you is, you know, the amount of time it might take you to get to the airport. Now, we had a early morning flight, a 7:30 in the morning flight to Cuenca last week. And so when we got there, our driver picked us up, and it was early morning. Like they picked us up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it took us about 45 minutes from the old town to get to the airport with absolutely no traffic. And the thing is, if you have an afternoon flight or something that's going to deal with some of the, you know, rush hour traffic, that lack of infrastructure to get out there and easy ways to get there and a fast way to the airport is going to be a real pain in the butt. And to go along with that infrastructure thing, one of them is the ATMs here. Look, I know when you read in the guidebooks, it sounds like there's ATMs everywhere. There's not, okay? So make sure you ask where the ATM's at and get your cash when you can. And they use US dollars here, by the way. So you do have that. So just a heads up for that. But anyway, let's get to the things you're gonna love. And I'm gonna leave here, you know, in Quito. We're gonna go to one of the really great day trips. You can go to the Bay Vista Cloud Forest and do things, but you can go to Otavalo Market. There's all kinds of stuff, but that's gonna be one of the loves, so I won't ruin that one. So we'll go there. Have a great time here in Quito. Bye for this part. So now we've left the heart of Quito, and now we're at Bay Vista Cloud Forest. It's a reserve you can go to outside of Quito. I'll tell you why I'm here later on my fifth love, okay? Because I got to start with my first love of going to Quito, and that is going to the historic old town, the Centro Histórico. Oh my God. You can understand why the downtown, the old town of Quito, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The buildings that are there, the churches that are there, oh my God, it takes you back in time. The Calle de Siete Cruces, the Street of Seven Crosses, when you go there and you see the church after church, there's amazing buildings and stuff like that, the Plaza Grande and all these things, you're like, man, this is just awesome. And you're really gonna love that. And so when you go to the San Francisco church in the Plaza de San Francisco and you go inside there, remember I told you how you're upset because you can't take pictures inside? Once you go in and you see the gold and the geometric, you can see that the Moorish influence in the Spanish architecture that was then placed here in Quito. Oh my God, it is just gorgeous. The Compañía Church with the artwork that's there and how it's done, the facades. It's just amazing. Going and seeing, you know, and when you're outside the old town, you can see the Volta Nacional, the Basilica Volta Nacional, this neo-Gothic church. There's so many great things to see there. And the thing is, it's not just, you know, churches and a magnificent architecture. There's also cool areas to go. You can walk on La Ronda, which is like these two little streets that kind of break off, and you can see where where they make chocolate. They have all these little cute restaurants and cute little shops and stuff like that. There's just so many great things to do, and you'll love staying in downtown. And what's cool about the downtown, and it's also cool about Quito in general, and my second love of Quito, is that it's cheap. You can get hotels downtown, the historic center, for like 40 bucks a night. There's tons of hostels there too. Now, you're not getting the high-end hotels in the historic district. You got to stay at La Mariscal, which is the new part. If you want like to stay in the Hilton or the NH or Suites or whatever, you got to be up there. But in the downtown, man, or the historic part of town, you can find cheap apartments, cheap hotels, all kinds of stuff. And in general, Quito is super cheap. 25 cents to take the bus. You want to go out and eat, you can get almuerzos, like food in these little corner stores and stuff like that for $2, $3, $4. You can eat, drink, make merry, all really, really cheap when you are here in Quito. Well, when you are there in Quito, and that's the second thing you're gonna love. The third thing you're gonna love is when you go up to the Virgin. Now, the Virgin, you'll see, you'll go, oh, there's an angel on top of the hill up there. No, that's not an angel. Okay, that's a Virgin, and you're gonna see representations of that Virgin around town. If you go to San Francisco, you see the one that's kind of based off of. You'll see it on the altar. But when you go up there, you get this great view of the city. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you, take a taxi up there. Don't walk up there. You go through some shady parts of town, and it's a long way to go. And with the altitude, like we talked about before, you don't want to deal with that. But when you get up there, you get a really good feel of the city. You see the volcano on your left. Yes, there's an active volcano by Quito, just so you know. You see the other side of the city, you see how it goes down, you just have these magnificent views of the city. And I really like it up there. And you can take a taxi up there and say, hey, just wait for me. They'll wait for you. You can stay up there for a while, climb up in it, do stuff, take the taxi back. We did that. It was like $7 from the center, okay? So that was really, really kind of cool. Now, the fourth thing you're gonna love about coming to Quito is actually, for a huge city, for a capital city, it's not like a huge city. The people are super friendly. I know, I keep talking about South America and Ecuador. People are so nice, so nice. But I mean, think about it. You've got a couple million people living in the city, and the people are still super nice. How often does that happen? And that's one of the greatest parts about being here, is the people are so friendly. And also what's really cool is when you're in the city, it's clean. I know people are like, what? South America's dirty and all this stuff. But no. Quito is a clean city as well because the people are so kind, so helpful, and care about their city that they do a really nice job. And it's, whether you're in the historic center, La Mariscal, which is like Gringolandia, where all the big like hotels, restaurants, and shopping, more traditional stuff are, you have that. And that's why it has a very different feel for a big city. And that's what I love about it, because it gives you this kind of laid back, awesome kind of feel with these people. And the fifth thing you're going to love when you do come here to Quito, the reason why I'm here at Vista Cloud Forest, is there are tons and tons of great day trips you can take from Quito. I know you're like, well, Mark, why don't you tell us to leave the city? Well, you don't have to leave the city, but there's things you can do to really enjoy more. So if you want to stay longer in Quito and do day trips, use that as your hub. That's really cool. Or you can stay at places outside too. There's options. But the day trips are awesome. Probably the most there's two really popular ones. The one most visited site, I think, in the country is the Mitad del Mundo. Okay, remember, Ecuador is on the equator, hence its name, okay? And if you go to Mitad del Mundo, there's two things you want to see. One, there's the Mitad del Mundo, which is like the official place where they have a big statue and you'll take your picture holding things up and stuff like that. And that's where when they originally said, this is the equator, that's where it was. And they have like information centers and a museum there and restaurants, and you can see people making guinea pig cuy there. They'll be rotating around and stuff like that. You will have that. And then literally about 200 meters around the corner from there, when you leave, there's another smaller museum. Okay, it's like or area. And when you go there, that's actually on the GPS 0000 line, okay? And they've got some cheese belly things there, but what's cool is they kind of have like bigger than dioramas, but they have kind of like displays for different parts of the country. And so you'll see, a shrunken head, and you'll learn about the animals in the different parts of the countries and different parts of the country and things like that, which is really cool. But also then you can do the like uber touristy, but actually kind of cheesy fun things like balancing an egg on a nail, because here at the equator it works differently, and they'll pour the water in to show you, it goes straight down here, then it's on the sides over there and stuff like that, and how it twirls down, the Coriolis effect. They'll have all kinds of really cool things that you can do when you are there, and they do have a nice fun time with you when you are there, which is cool for tourists, and especially with kids. Our kids loved it, we loved it. Maybe you want to do some hiking, go to Cotopaxi, you can go to the volcano and go hike up around there. That's really cool. You can come to the cloud forest like Bella Vista and go hike around here and go see hummingbirds. I mean, we had hummingbirds eating out of our hands. It was amazing. And so that's what's cool, is you can do so many things when you are by Quito. And of course, I'd even mention the Otavalo Market, the famous market. Go there on a Saturday. So it has the textiles, it has the art, it has the food, it has the spices, it has a really amazing experience when you are there. Do pay attention when you are there with your bags though, I'll tell you that one. And don't be afraid to negotiate when you are there. But it is a really cool thing to do. So if you do come here to Quito, make sure you get out for those day trips as well. Anyway, I hope this video gave you a better idea of some things to look forward to and watch out for when you do come to Quito. We've had a great time here. We can't wait to come back, and I hope you enjoy it too. If you want to learn more about Quito, the don'ts of Quito, or maybe the don'ts of Ecuador, or things that'll shock you about coming to Ecuador, check us out on our website at woltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we really appreciate your likes and subscriptions. And if you like travel videos like this, videos that really try to give you an idea of the culture and the place and honest travel advice, click that subscribe button. And we do put out new travel videos every Wednesday and Saturday to help all kinds of travelers, from backpackers to luxury to middle-aged fat guys. We try to help everybody out to have a better time traveling. Anyway, I'll say bye from Ecuador and have a great time if you're going to Quito, Cuenca, the Galapagos, or wherever in South America too. It's a great place. Bye from Ecuador. Oh, Liam wants to say bye. Come here, buddy. You want to say bye? Oh.
Bye. Bye.
He's doing karate. Fighting with his brother. All right. Bye from Ecuador.